I suppose Lincoln would say, if I'm honest with you, I didn't know very much about you before we did this, and you've had a remarkable career. You've done so many different things. What would you say is your proudest achievement in that?
Well, I mean, there are lots of things that I've enjoyed very much. I suppose, if I may, I'd pick out two. One of them because it was very much sort of just me, whereas the other one was lots of people. It's always lots of people. It's never one person. But the very last thing I did as Foreign Secretary, actually, almost the last thing, was to make a speech in Washington at which I committed our government to the pursuit of a world free of nuclear weapons. Right. Not next week, of course, but to that ultimate goal and to that vision of a world completely free of nuclear weapons. We were the first, I was the first Foreign Secretary of any government in office to do that in these days. And it was before Barack Obama made his speech, which obviously we were welcomed tremendously, and we got an enormous reaction. And it was after that they launched the Global Zero campaign, because they felt if a government in office of one of the nuclear weapon states is now saying that, then this is a big sea change. Yeah. And so they thought it was worth putting the money in, worth starting to run that campaign, of which I'm a sort of founder member. So that was one. The other one, which I always tend to quote, I think it must be my greatest achievement, because everybody else has taken credit for it. And that's the introduction of the national minimum wage. No. I was the Secretary of State who, well, no. There you go, you wouldn't. Because everybody you can think of says their proudest achievement is the introduction of the national minimum wage, except the two people who actually did it, who were me and Ian McCartney.
Going back on the first thing you said, you were the first female Foreign Secretary, were you not?
Yes.
In this country, and that must be such a pivotal sort of thing, especially in Parliament.
I've been lucky enough to have quite a few firsts. I was the first female Secretary of State for Trade and Industry. And as you say, first Foreign Secretary. I think the thing which was most surprising to me was that obviously over the years I'd done a huge amount of international negotiation, both agriculture and environment, and indeed some in trade. And I got to know quite a number of Foreign Office civil servants, and it was one of the women I knew well in the Foreign Office, a very, very bright lady, who said to me very quietly, "I hope you realise that there are people, quite senior people, in this office who don't think a woman should be Foreign Secretary." That was as recently as 2006. I was a bit surprised. I mean, they had Margaret Thatcher, yeah. But I think she was right. But you know, my view was they'll get over it.
Also, I'm sure you know the first MP for Derby was Philip Noel-Baker, who I was scolding after you, the third, made that in the 70s. Since you've been in your position, what do you think is the most significant contribution you've made to the city of Derby?
I hope, probably, that I've been a help both to the City Council, whatever its political complexion, and also to people in industry in Derby. Yeah. Because there are times when I've been able to help Rolls-Royce, when I've been able to help what is now Bombardier, you know, whatever the firm was at the time, and generally to sort of play that role. I think that's probably been something that I have had the opportunity to do, and I've been very glad to do it.
Well.